been really nice. It's always fun to meet people with the same interests and see their engagement in these questions, which is very interesting and going to be very important in the future, I think. So it's been good, 2 good days.
It's interesting to see that there are so many people in so many countries that are engaged in finding ways to do landfill mining and reuse material that's been put in landfills earlier in the history.
Dear Michael,
Yes.
I would like to give you a gift with a production that we got from our landfill mining project. I will explain you. The waste here is not waste, but it is waste-derived fuel. It has a calorific value up to 27 megajoules per kilo. From this waste fuel, we have produced pyrolysis oil with a calorific value about 42. The carbon here is a pyrolysis residue with a calorific value of 12, and they are all valuable fuels. And this cement is produced with the help of our waste fuel, which is the this material. And the biggest part of this present is construction material, which was also produced from landfill-derived plastics. So you have a nice example what is possible to produce from a landfill. Please.
Okay, thank you very much. I will show it in Ukraine, so it's very interesting. I think my colleague as well will be very excited to have this.
And please make everybody jealous and tell them that landfill mining can be end up in a production of goods.
Yeah. So the message is that waste is a valuable resource and we should not waste the waste.
Yes, and we don't only say that we can demonstrate it.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Exactly. You're welcome.
This product, Michael, that you have, we have defined this project, let's say in Brazil, but for all South America, as zero waste. All the material which is thrown out is here. Sustainable architecture, as you see here, very endurable, very solid, very efficient, and renewable energy. And this is the equation of the world peace equation. Zero waste, sustainable architecture, renewable energy. This can unite the 220 countries and the 5 continents. So it's with a great pleasure that we meet in several languages here, but talking about just one chant is very important.
It was William who showed the numbers of old landfills in Europe. It's hard to grab. It's so much waste lying out there in society, and all the resources there will be interesting to try to recycle, I think.
And for example, the numbers only from Sweden was quite staggering. I mean, there are organic waste that can heat all our district heating in the country. And maybe we should explain that in Sweden there is quite a lot of district heating. It has a large percentage of the heating in the society. And still, I think it was 10 years of the energy in the landfills could run the district heating for 10 years. And then metals for 5 years, and that was not only the municipal waste. I mean, for industrial waste, it must be, for metals, it could be at least as much.
Yeah, probably. And I wonder if they have regarded the biogas potential when they are looking at this energy, because I think the biogas potential is also very high in this material. Besides the fuel that you directly can pick out in form solid fuel, in form of plastic and paper. And there will also be a lot of biogas potential in this material. But you're going to talk about techniques later, and I think we know we have today pretty good techniques if we wanted to get started. But what do you think is the main reasons that we don't get this thing going immediately?
I don't think that it is technical limitations that getting landfill mining started. I think this is legal issues and financial issues and this type of barriers that we have to get over first. My concern is, of course, health and safety issues and environmental issues during the excavations of landfills, because there are since there is so bad, we don't have much records on what we have in our landfills, and that is somehow a little bit scary when you start a new project. You don't know what to find there. Of course, that is one very important thing, is somehow methods to map what is inside the landfill. I think that's one thing that has to be developed more. Trial pits, yeah, that's okay, but maybe that there is some geophysical methods, other methods to try to find out what is inside the landfill, or sensors or whatever, something like that. I think it has to be also included and developed a little bit, because once you start digging, that's then you have to deal with it.
Well, I think that's what we can hope for after this in the next steps here, that we can keep trying together with the municipals and the government and the research world, because I think that's the only way we can learn these things is by keep trying.
The potential is something that I will bring with me. This is somehow a new business area for us, and something we have started. I mean, we have experience from handling waste on our sites, so we know how to deal with it. But landfills is mining is a new thing, and the potential business of it is something that I will bring with me, because it could be possible for us to attract investment in this area, and investing in research and development in this area. That's something that can be quite interesting. In business world, it's always, we always compete about investment money, and is it better to develop these things than building a new facility, for example. These are the kinds of decisions that companies have to do. And if I can show the potential and the value of, I mean, all these material, minerals and energy, and also the number of possible projects and so on, I'm pretty sure I can attract some of the investment money from my company to sponsor R&D project, to learn more and to get a head start into this field of business. Yes.
At this conference here at Saaremaa about landfill mining and so on, we have gathered a lot of researchers, practitioners, politicians, and so on, from the different countries around the Baltic Sea. And it's rather important that we are gathering from the different countries. And we are here about 85 million people around the Baltic Sea, or in the catchment of Baltic Sea, and around the Baltic Sea it's about 165 million people. And we have traditions from ancient time to work together, and we shall use this now here in the waste management, cooperate. We shall continue with this cooperation in landfill mining, that shall go on, and it shall increase the number of full excavation project. And the next step must be that we organize more seminars, and it could be on the title that lesson learned from Saaremaa. So we could go further to have such seminar in Latvia, in Lithuania, in Ukraine, in Sweden, and in other Baltic Sea countries to give interest and wake up the issue for on a wide front. It can't be just the researchers. It must be the politicians. It must be all in the society, also the common people, because it's for us that we are doing that, to have a better environment and a better and cleaner Baltic Sea.
Agree that the seminar was very interesting and it opened from many angles the future, because I really consider that landfill mining is a future. The question is that whether it is a near future for some countries and perhaps a bit of more distance for some other countries. And I would explain it with that we have to first understand that we have continuous waste flow which is generated on a daily basis principally. And clearly the first priority should be that we should achieve a high level of the source separation and recycling of this waste stream. Otherwise, it would look like that we will put some 70–80% to the landfills today, which is reality in several countries here presented too, and yet trying 10 to go to the landfills and to mine there. And this is, in my understanding, not very rational to do the things. Means that first thing to get a really good level of the recycling with continuous waste stream, and if this is solved, then to go to landfill mining. And landfill mining is definitely option which was very well really covered here in several projects where the landfills are very close to the cities, or really means that this landfill mining is more like motivated by other public interest than by the value of materials which is there in the waste. Perhaps this is my summary today. The landfill mining in a process sense is more or less the same which is in the waste management is known as mechanical biological treatment. The question is whether we have the biological treatment or whether it is needed, but this mechanical part is definitely the same, typical. And then we have in Estonia several mechanical biological treatment plants, and the economy scale tells us that the gate fee or the fee of such treatment is approximately 30–35 euro per ton if it is delivered to the facility. And this is already taking account the values of materials which they are sieving out there and so on. Now we have to understand that on those MBT plants, the fee for service is paid by those who are really giving waste over there on the daily basis principally. Means that if it is a household waste, this is collected from the households. If we are going with the same process to the landfill mining process, then the costs are approximately the same, 30 euro roughly, depending on how fine you are going with your process. There are a lot of details definitely, but roughly so. But the question is that who shall pay for the same process? There is no waste generator anymore from who to ask this money. This is the basic question in economical sense. Today's waste stream is going to the same process, and the gate fee, taking account that the plastic is given to the plastic recycler and so on, is indeed it is, if we are talking in the economical means that the value of this material, the mixed waste, is minus 30 euro. Minus means that somebody has to pay to the treatment company, and this is already taking account that metals are sold with certain materials, some plastics are sold with the materials, some plastics are sold to the cement factory as a refuse-derived fuel, and so on. So this is income part, but it does not cover the cost unless somebody is paying this gate fee for the treatment. Means that if it comes to the old landfills or the landfill mining, there is at first sight at least, nobody on field who really is volunteering to pay for it. That means that should be found, the motivations, and perhaps definitely also the support kind of models should be found to encourage. But again, that those support means, financial means, should not forget that there are first thing first principle to solve the current today's waste stream, to treat this properly. We are not doing it. I just referred to that Professor Hogland showed that there is even a glass mining in certain glass factories, near glass factories. That's very interesting, but that means that, in my understanding, that everyday's glass packages, first of all, they are recycled in Sweden something beyond 90%, I suppose. We are doing it in Estonia very average. I think 50 means that we are doing very well in the deposit system, but that is outside of deposit system. The collection rate is not so high, and yet even if it is collected, it's quite clean material. We do not have practically any normal recycling facilities for the green glass. And this is today the material that the waste management companies who are really owning today clean material, very clean material in the big quantities, and nobody wants it. So it means that on that background does not really sound again rational to look to sites where you can really mine the glass. And this is not with the glass, but the glass is, I think, a good example here. That's why I would say that the landfill mining is definitely the future, but perhaps not so near future. Absolutely, because from that stream which is generated today, we can, with much lower costs in total, get the very clean material out. It means that from the clean material you can produce the clean new products, and this is one of the aim which is also included in the European Waste Directive as an aim. So this is named the high quality recycling. Of course there are no definitions where it ends, what is yet high quality, what is not, but so generally understandable what it means. We should try to move towards this, and this means first of all maximizing the source separation, and even if source separated, the most of materials yet needs after sorting and some after treatment, crushing and washing and whatever. And this type of, this path of, I would say that we are not exactly starting, but we are yet in the beginning part. We are really putting a lot of materials which could be recycled, whether to the low quality recycling, whether we are just insulating the materials, although they are already available in quite quality which could be turned to the recycling. It isn't, and there are the big questions we have to deal first, and then to go to landfill mining.
Of course, we must take the ordinary waste and recycle and develop system for this, and we have seen here today that even if we try to fulfill the European Union directive and so on, we are on different levels in the different countries, and of course we must have the recycling develop so it comes to a high level in all our countries. But if we are talking about landfill mining, that shall be seen as a part in the total waste management, and it's for in some countries perhaps for the future, but we also have special landfills that need to be excavated, that are hazards for drinking water sources. It can be a groundwater source or it can be a lake and so on. But also we have those that are located very close to the Baltic Sea or the river in the Baltic Sea catchment. The water, when you have a high water level, the water goes up into the landfill and release pollutants to the Baltic Sea, and that we must avoid. So some of these we should handpick for landfill mining, and then also that the cities are also growing, and then suddenly you have the old city dump in the middle of the city, and then it's also easier to get motivation and also economy to make landfill mining. Perhaps you want to make a new industry area, or as we have seen here, also even beautiful town district for living. And so it's important that we not see landfill mining as a part of the waste management system. Everything starts with education. You must educate people. I mean, you can't have cleansing system or pay workers that cleaning up in the city if you don't have trained first the people. In the school it shall start, in the nursery school and so on. They shall know that why we are making waste management, so the citizens shall be a part in the waste management system. And then, I mean, you need to develop a sorting at the household and help in this recycling process. And these people, like I should say in many countries, the Swedes, they are sorting waste by their heart, I should say, and they want to contribute. And I think that can be learned in the school, but you must have waste management in the school on all levels and learn about why it's good and so on. And of course, university studies of this. And in 1988, I started the first university division in solid waste management, and I am happy to see that the development has gone so fast. And I mean, in such a country as Ukraine, they must also start with education and also invite experts from other parts of the world and also practitioners that had the knowledge and so on, and lift it. So they catch up. And we have seen here during the recent years how all the countries has caught up in the Baltic Sea region. And Estonia, I should say, is one that have been in the forefront here, closing down the landfills, and they concentrate on some few landfills here. So Estonia has a lot to teach the other countries that are behind.
I would first agree that awareness raising and education, and this is extremely important, but equally important is clear legal system, clear definition of obligation, a clear definition of the financial means how the waste management should be developed. I would refer here to the presentation from the Ukraine, which principally gave us that roughly half of the population. That means, by the way, that taking account the population of Ukraine, more than 20 million people are principally outside of the collection scheme. That means, first of all, that they do not continuously and on a regular basis pay for the waste service. Means that they have something which is considered to be a dream situation. They can itself choose to which company they give the waste or not. What it means was also covered here. That means typically awful littering. Awful littering. That means that, and another end is, I would say that in my understanding, the Nordic countries people, also the Professor Ragn from Sweden, they consider it as a self-evidence. They do not emphasize it sometimes, that in countries like Sweden and Denmark, no household principally can't be outside of the collection system. So this is us granted. But this is what we are struggling here also, still are struggling. And those are somehow like starting points. And then, of course, if the education and the public awareness raising will give a positive attitude of the people to come up with sorting towards recycling, of course, then the next question is that where we shall put this material. Do we have the facilities to treat those waste? That means that there is definitely a need for the waste management planning, starting from the national level and then on the bigger countries, definitely regional and local levels. It is a long process in the bigger countries, obviously longer. We should consider here the economic differences. Estonia, I think that Estonia have made really a very fast progress if to compare with the comparable countries. But the question is that Estonia have been, again, in comparison, very successful during the last decade and principally all this 20 years in economic growth. So our just to refer is that 92 the average salary was 50 euro per month. Today it is something close to 1,000. It means that practically 20 times have average salary grown with the 20 years. This is not so in all countries. And in lower income countries, the ability of society to invest and the willingness of the average population to participate in this and also to contribute through their fees they pay is remarkably lower or in certain level not existing. Means that the problems are somehow, I would say, another level, but somewhere it should be started, and clearly this general view, the national waste management planning is definitely the first level exercise that could be positive to start.
In Sweden we are very early with the waste management. It developed during the late 80s and 90s, and we introduced then rather advanced recycling schemes and so on, and we have followed that up, but as we heard here, Estonia has developed very fast during the last decade and have very good experience of that, and therefore I think that Estonia have a lot to teach other countries as Latvia, Lithuania, and Ukraine, and so on, because Estonia went through this process recently. Meanwhile, Sweden is decades ago we were at that stage, so it's very important that Estonia can go and help the other countries and learn. So back to this, what I said, what was the lesson learned about this the landfill mining, but I mean waste management is much more, so it's not just landfill mining that Estonia can teach others, it's the whole waste management system, how you build it up, how you teach people to be aware and be in the process of waste management.
Here, so the floor, you have a faster system of building, and the people, you do all that without electricity. This is very different because they begin to do it as it's the remembrance of the memories of the hands, I would say. It's a very old memory that you don't need to go to buy things, you put electricity, you pick things, you grain, and you have the same thing which you learn football or to cook. You get through another center of behavior. And you are very intimate because you are the one who threw it out. You know, this is very interesting. So it's very easy to pass to communities.
And how is it conserved? I mean, if it is wet, then it's biomaterial. Mushrooms will grow here.
Yeah.
It resists to the moisture.
Okay, but since it's earth together with organics, you can control. You put more earth, you close the system.
So okay. Soil is
soil.
Soil and grass, yeah? Together.
But do you see a parallel with houses from straw?
Sure.
Straw, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
It's very popular in at this time?
I didn't brought here. If you pick grass, if you pick palm trees, the fibers, it's like our hair. We dissolve. Our nails and our hair stay, and our bones dissolve. This doesn't dissolve. So when you put the fibers, the organic fibers, by themselves, you have the best heating protection, you know. And this, you can make huge panels, and the city which cuts the grass needs to burn it somewhere. So she pays for you. So if you organize the law of Brazil, cities begin to be the manufacturer, the owner of the products, you see? Because everything you pay tax, plastics or metals or organics, the food, you pay taxes. Once you throw out, the only owner in Brazil legally is the city with this law. So the city is interested that this doesn't stuck somewhere. It wants this to go on and on and on. So what she does, they classify this process once we have this conjunction work, technology from one side and education from the other side. They classify this project as a global green scale. Why? They have the proven origin, which the cities knows exactly the quantity and the quality of what is thrown out, the tests. So you have origin, proven origin. You have clean production, again, is the technology that you can develop and give. And you have the future. You have a final destination, which is the environment where people want. So these products, they are much more adequate for the water of the ocean, which is augmenting, for the winds, which are augmenting, for the rivers, which are bursting, because they are more solid. So they are a new stage of processes. Then you can do as a next step of civilization that sent your products into doing products for after distributing to people. I would say that we dilapidate the geography along the last 30,000 years, praying for history, for our idols. Let's do the contrary. Let's melt history. Let's melt history here, what man produced, and reconstruct geography.
Yeah. Okay, it seems very nice, but one simple question. How the people want to live in such buildings, in such houses?
Oh, when you come to Brazil, you will see they in 1 week, in less than 1 week, we've taught communities in several parts of Brazil like that to do all the housing process.
So they like it.
Yeah, like it.
Yeah, it's something that you get the spirit. And I was looking when the men came. The second day the women began to come, and they would pick the earth, and after the kids were playing, and after the guys again, they remember things that they do artisany. It's like their native memory were awakened. Their relation to the natural, to the forest, to the stones, was, and say, well, I know to do it, and it and does. It's like a natural processes that existed in other times, which you rehabilitate, you know, and you take the obligation to need to buy things, to put electricity, to close here, to go there, and you begin to realize that these things are available. So you learn it through a more organic sense.
Because there's a big complex of problems which we could discuss, and this is of course a very interesting approach to do something, but people do not know very much about it. So my question to you is, in Ukraine, public awareness rising is still very low, so people do not think very much when they waste something like plastic bags or so. What about Brazil? The public is more engaged already? Do you think they would participate and contribute to further steps to make it better? Or they also just dump it and forget it?
Very, very good question. During the last years, I had the impression that I could go more easily because nobody was thinking on the problem. So I could feel that I had a completely free advancement. But on the background, I was very worried exactly for this uncompromise. But recently, for my surprise, in the last months, since this law is a federal law obliging every city to create a problem, creating more jobs and reusing more of the residuals, every city was obliged by the federal law to call the communities, and the communities would present exactly their aims. And the amazing thing is that when the communities kept together, all kinds of communities but related to the environment, not to the ideologies, the final document of the communities was exactly the same that what we produced in 20, 25 years of work. It was such I was such amazed that the collective intelligence is always better than the individual, they say. And I would see that presently when you had the document of the communities, and after this we did in one region of one city in Ubatuba, and after the north, and after the south, the central, the west, and the next meeting was with 4 cities. The final document was exactly what we saw here. So I think this today is a global consciousness which is coming, and very fast, because it's exactly what scientists, priests like Teilhard de Chardin said 30 years ago about the noosphere. No? I think the people are beginning to reach the degree of a conscience of what is good for the spaceship Earth. And then those values are very fast felt, because they are beyond the intellectual process. They are really the times are coming, and so people come very fast. And I hope this is happening in all the 5 continents.
That's good to hear. So public awareness is already raising, as I understand. And so if this process has started, I think it will continue.
Earth's consciousness.
I hope so.
Yes.
For Brazil, because you have lots of other problems, and I think it's important to get this problem also.
And the second factor is we have a new trend of communications from several countries, intensified through clean technologies and good production. So this is a bioeconomy, a very pragmatic bioeconomy. It's a different kind of investment, because you create something which will have sure good productivity coming on.
You did see this material. What do you think about it? It's not too heavy, it's okay?
Brazil has 10,000 kilometers of beaches. So if you install in the cities, in all these places, this machinery, all the consumer plastic will be transformed in beautiful urban equipments that you can have, so you can have cleaner beaches, together with the only material which is not destroyed by the sun or by the water is this one. So you see, it's a good example to see a new eco-design, which is cleaning, educating, reconstructing.
Okay. When you compare this material with your materials, it looks different, and it is different. Maybe what is?
This one requires electricity, energy to be produced. But if you the behavior and the final result is the same. Both are very good. This is on longitudinal, and the other is square or rectangles. But the philosophy is the same, the reuse of everything.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Michael, in your experience of scientists in several countries, because originally you're German and you're in Ukraine, when all this process of research you did in the last times, When was it that you got the idea of the sharing of this information as a trend to multiply this to other groups of people? When this idea came and you saw that really this movement, which we passed here and had this experience of the joining forces, would be a good result?
Well, I think it's a general trend. So I do work not only in the field of waste management, but on other themes related to environmental management, like wastewater treatment or river restoration. It's now a new incentive which is on the European level already. And so in Ukraine we always have to look for cooperation with other countries, because we also need financing to bring things forward. And this is usually easier on the international level. So if we find partners in other countries, then we can stick together, make a good program. And I like this idea very much, because I feel that borders are falling more and more. It's more easy to go to Ukraine. You even don't need a visa now. And so international cooperation in all fields of environment is already nothing new, already decades. Yeah. So I don't know about South America. It's also like here in Europe, or it's maybe not so close?
I believe South and Central America is very big. No, it's 32 countries. And I can't say that I know it so much. I know more Europe than I know the Americas, because the distance are too big, and the difference still, I would like to travel more. But the exchange, Brazil is like the major country and a major influence. And I think that this process here we see, this is united notions, united lotions, no? It's something much new than United Nations, because this exchange will give to the continent of South and Central America something ahead, as Union Europe has, because it has 1,000 at minimum more years. Brazil has 513 years. So this dimension of good relations, I think it will come through the exchange of knowledge, towards a common productivity, and this you need to share, and this will be a very big increase on the part of approximation of behaviors from different countries. I think this is the new passport which can give this great chance to have evolution in global sense.